A very good morning to you, Kenyan citizens. Welcome back, and this is Beyond the Headlines. So you make sure that you get to understand what is happening in our country in details. And usiache nyuma ndio kitu kikuwa mentioned na politician. You remember in Beyond the Headlines we explained for you. And today we are honored to have our political studio analyst, Mr. Kimotho. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Kabisa?
Kabisa.
Well, tuko hapa kuelezea wananchi what is happening in our country.
Yes.
Because a lot has been happening.
Yes.
And let me start by saying we'll be checking out that is tutangazia sana spending, and then we'll be checking that is a little bit of the health sector. SHA unit has been on the spotlight.
Yes.
And when it comes to spending, Mr. Kimotho, I really don't know what kind of leadership we have in our country, but you're going to help us understand that. When it comes to spending, the whole of this week, a lot has been highlighted. And we saw number one, that is, we have that is different leaders who were highlighted the whole of this week. Tumekuwa that is Embu governor, who allegedly diverted, that is 10 million for Kindiki's, that is our deputy president, political event. Na sijui sasa kama Embu wanafunzi wote wameenda shule. And then we have that is another leader who spent that is 5 million on housewarming. That is a lot. So I don't know how much Mr. Kimotho spent on your housewarming. And then today the Daily Nation highlighted the amount that the deputy president has been using on traveling on private jets. That is 340 million, Mr. Kimotho. That is a lot. And now on what has been happening when it comes to spending. Let me start by saying, what do you think about spending? Can we say we have a problem?
First of all, thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to our viewers and welcome to this show. Our nation is very rich. It's full of resources. It's full of very active, that is Kenyans. Watu wengi wanaamka asubuhi kwenda kutafuta lishe and everything else. And everyone is busy doing their own activities. And also our revenue collection, that is a system, that is our KRA, it has really been improved. And they are doing a lot. They have a target that they have. And also we also have a target of that is our revenue collection from the county governments, which each and every person is doing their level best. We also saw that their KRA, that is walikuja na waka improve their services, so that sasa wanafikia wana biashara, that is kuweza collect the taxes. And whenever they are doing that, Kenyans they are very willing to do that. Na hawana shida. But despite of all that, there is a disappointment when it comes now to spending, because the spending that we do is a high match. When you compare with the development, when you compare with other needs that are needed there. So unakuta kana kwamba that is now where the issue is coming from. Even if now we go to the law does not give a capping or a ceiling on how you should spend. So unakuta tu watu wana spend despite wanapitisha the budget. The budget inaenda tu inapitishwa pale. There are some offices that the only problem that they have is how to utilize what they have been given.
So what I'm getting, you're saying we don't have a mechanism as a country on spending?
We don't have. Because the people that are supposed now to do that capping is the national, that is assembly, and they are supposed now to work hand in hand with the office of the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget. And there is also a commission ambayo inaitwa CRC ambayo inafaa regulate, that is the allowances, ambayo inafaa regulate even that is the salaries, because kuna wakati kutumiana, that is kuna another parliament that is walikuwa wamejaribu kwenda ku increase that is the allowances, na pia the commission ikatoa their submission. So we are having a challenge in our nation when it comes now to spending, and that is where now the problem is coming from. That's why unaona even those figures in a raise, and no one is questioning that. Hatujaona any MP, the MP is concerned on that is the committee ambayo iko concerned. They have not even raised the issue. His issue haziongelewi pale bungeni. So that is a question that ambayo ina raise, because if we are doing so much spending, and yet when it comes now to other issues, tunakosa, that is the allocation of money, shows you that there is a challenge and something needs to be done. And I think now that question also goes back now to the person that is in charge of the government, to the person that voted for the government, that is the mwananchi. Mwananchi sasa ndiye anafaa angalie na aweze kuwe, because all the power belongs to the people. Yes. And
do you think we have a problem when it comes to allocation of funds and priorities? Because according to the delineation that we're reading today, ukiangalia, that is the money that Kindiki, that is our DP, spent, that is 340 million budget for private jets and choppers. And when you compare with pesa yaliyokewa ile time ya budget, it's exceeding. That is the budget that was allocated in the year 2025 as per 2026 is exceeding. Now, another thing that actually it's really disappointing, ukiangalia pesa yenye the office of the DP mekewa no compare the dedication ya the DP iko high. So do we have a problem with allocation of funds with priorities?
Who passed this budget? That is the question. Yes, because before all these allocation ifike to that office, lazima ikuwe imepita a series of so many departments, a series of so many other ambao pia wamepitisha pale. And one office, that is one entity ambayo ilipita, is one entity of the national, that is assembly. So our MPs, they have a leeway, and they also have so much control that they can do, because if at all kama hii mambo yote wangeweza kuangalia na waseme no, this is too much, let this go back to this, let this go back to this, let this go back to this, hatuwezi kuwa tumefika mahali tumefika. Because what normally happen with an office, if the allocation of the budget reaches the office, already imeshapita, imeshakuwa concluded pale. Now there is nothing more you can do, kwa sababu already imeshapita zile channel ambazo zimepita pale. Unless now it becomes now to a self-initiative person in that office to say now that this is too much, let me divert it now to this area, let me divert now to this area. Then at the same time, why do we need to hire the helicopters? And
the private jets.
Yes, the private jets, and yet to corner the police helicopters. The president anatumia the military helicopters. Kwa nini atumii zile za kuhaya? So the same thing should happen, because if at all kama tungekuwa na hizi mechanism in government, inaweza reduce the spending ambayo iko pale. Then is it a must that you use the helicopters? There are so many other ways that you can use, you know, the road, when ukiangalia pale, ukiangalia maendeleo yale mengine ambayo yako pale. So it raises a lot of questions when it comes down to spending. And that's why now we also saying that the arms that are supposed to regulate this, they should do their work. Because ukiangalia now, despite now the office of that is the deputy president, pia kuna spending ambazo ziko pia to the, that is the office of the president, na pia the office na pia pale state house, and also to the other state departments ambazo tumekuwa tukiangalia pale. So this is something that needs to be done, and the only entity that can do that is our MP on the National Assembly.
And there's something that you'll mention, and it has sparked a lot of questions in my mind on mambo ya kupitisha budget so that ifike hapa kwenye imefika. Can we say public or civic education and participation was not done well as it's supposed to be? Because if a common mwananchi angelezewa how this thing is done, I really don't think they could have agreed.
You see what happened, and this question imekuwa raised so much, even the interpretation of the court, how public participation should be done, and how it should be conducted. And one of the public participation that we do is during the election, because we elect our leaders to go and represent us in the various entities, that is in the Senate, in the National Assembly, and also in the county assemblies. So there are some of the things that they are not necessarily needs to come back to the mwananchi. Then at the same time, how they conduct the public participation, it is always a notice inatolewa, then mnaambiwa kama maybe next week unaambia pengine kutakuwa na mahali kutakuwa na public participation. Now whatever you have been brought before you and the time frame, sometimes even watu wengi hawezi ku understand, because mnaambia iko hivi, mnaambia iko hivi, there are so many other hidden agenda ambazo ziko pale ambazo pengine zinakuwa hazikuwa zinafichwa. Then at the same time pia ukiangalia the understanding ya na pia the time frame ya kufanyia wananchi civic education inakuwa pia pale ni challenge. So it all now depends with how now the initiative of that is of our National Assembly na vile ambavyo wataweza kufanya. So because tumekuwa tukiona that is in fact if you attend some of this public participation unakuta zinakuwa so biased. Unakuta the leader analeta wale watu ambao watakuja kupitisha tu ile tu kitu ambayo itakuwa imeletwa pale without understanding the precaution or understanding the details ambazo ziko pale. So even if ambao tunasema mambo ya public participation, we should see the MPs trying to discuss all these issues ambayo iko pale, and that is also one of the danger of not having an opposition in our nation. Yes.
So I really need one, right? Because unajua that statement is passing a lot. I don't know, wananchi interpret on their own. And as we went up on that story that is on matters to do with spending, according to you, do you believe that then mimi ninaona sasa on the way leaders are spending money and they're saying are spending money on official trips, they are calling them actually official trips and everything. Should we have a public or let's say they should show us the return on investment that we are getting from these trips? Do you think we should have that?
Definitely we should have, but the way it's been brought before us, or the way it's been brought in response, tunaona inakuwa cultivated politically on certain individuals. Because even if you're going out to give or to open a project, this project belongs to the people. So you're supposed to involve each and everyone in that area, despite of their different political arenas. But tumekuwa tukiona even if they wanasema it is during their duty ambao wanaenda kuperform pale, unakuta ya kwamba iko politically motivated. Kama saizi tuna all those projects ambazo the president, the deputy president and ama pia the other CS wanaenda kufungua pale, at the end of the day zinakuwa politically motivated to campaign now for the re-election of the current government of the day.
Right. And now let's revert to other things that have been happening that is in our country. And we saw that Wetangula, he gave out a statement that 56% of MPs may not return to power, right? That is what he said.
Yeah.
And do you think that is najua ilifanya that is MPs wafikirie sana?
Yeah.
Because of the statement that he gave out. But at the end of the day, do you think that his incumbency advantage still protects that his many MPs, whereby I know I've been in power more than 2 times, ama nimerudishwa mara 3 ama mara 4, so it means that I have more power and influence. And the one that I'm competing with, let's say that is the first time to be in power, so or to kusimamia kiti ya kukuwa MP. Can you say that he is protecting them?
You know, that is our National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula, has been a member of parliament, has been a member of parliament for quite some time. That is recently, the previous government pia alikuwa Senate. So he's one of the person ambao pia amekuwa in this system. Na amekuwa in different election, that is a period. So for one, it's kind of anajaribu kujiosha mkono. That is ndio kusikuja kuona mbunge siku moja utakuja kusema huku tuambia, huku tusaidia, ama pengine masiku fulani ama nini, unajua kuna kuwa na zile favors ambazo that is hao wenyewe huwa wanasaidiana pale. Then at the same time pia he also understands that there are challenges ambazo ziko pale, and he also sees that kuna kama kumekuwa na a lot of issues when it comes now to the systems ambazo zimekuwa ziko pale. Then at the same time ukiangalia pale kuna a lot of questions ambazo zinakuwa raised. Ukiangalia sasa kama ile retreat, kwa sababu that is where alitoa his statement, kwa sababu that is the members of parliament wako pale retreat Naivasha. Ukiona kuna the system, kulikuwa na a lot of issues when it comes now to the system of SHA. Waliuliza maswali when it comes now to the issue that is of education, waliuliza maswali ambao waliuliza pale. Wakati kufika now to other departments ama other areas, they also ask all these questions ambazo waliuliza pale. Then at the same time, it is his time wakati kama speaker, that's why now the Gen Z waliweza kuingia pale parliament, something that has not haijawahi onekana that is in our nation ama pia in East African nation. So ukiangalia hapa pia, so kuna mambo fulani pia hata yeye mwenyewe anamsukuma, na pia alikuwa pressured kuongea ukweli. Na unajua wakati unaongea ukweli that is sasa ndio mnaanza kukosana na watu wengi. So he was speaking to his mind, he was speaking what he sees, and also at the same time unajua kumekuwa na zile collection kutoka tukiona that is kama info track na wengine wamekuwa wakichukua maoni ya wananchi wanaweza kuzisema pamoja. And also at the same time him being an experienced politician alikuwa anasaidia wenzake because sasa ni vizuri pia alikuwa anawakumbusha ya kwamba that is pengine wamekaa huko sana mjini sana, maybe hawajaenda that is kule mashinani kule ambako kuna wananchi waliweza kuwachagua. But also at the same time it was a very good statement because tumeona reaction of so many other MPs, tumeona reaction of so many other leaders, not only the MPs peke yao but even the other leaders that is in different position, that is including Senate Governor, Women Rep, that is and also the MCAs. Pia wameanza sasa that is kuona the reality because hatujabakisha miezi mingi sana, tumebakisha I think around 15 16 or 18 months ambazo zimefika pale na unaona kana kwamba bado kuna ile time ya kumaliza project, at the same time pia kuna time pia bado ya kufanya campaign. But this is the reality and this is what now it is there kule mashinani.
Talking about projects now, can we say that Kenyans are becoming more performance driven on how you've performed as a leader and achieving your promises rather than just giving them promises? Can you say so Kenya wamerevuka?
You know what happened is that ukizoea kuambia mtu kitu nafika pahali sasa hadi anaanza sasa anaielewa zaidi. And also at the same time remember even in this show tumekuwa tukisema ya kwamba watu ndio wapatia all the time that they needed. And bado wamepatia all the time that they need to finish their project, everything that they need and every promise ambayo wali promise that is a Kenyans wako na time pia kuweza kuimaliza na kuimplement because watakuja sasa bado waelezee wananchi ni nini hicho walifanya ili wakuwe re-elected. And na pia wananchi saa hizi wamekuwa na that knowledge. Then also at the same time tumeona ya kwamba saa hizi watu wameanza kuelimishana. Zile discussion ambazo ziko pale mtaani, zile discussion ziko online, watu wameanza kuerevuka. Zile discussion kama hii ambayo tuko nayo television, zingine tumekuwa tukizisikia in other radio stations. Watu wameanza kuerevuka, watu wameanza wao wenyewe kupeana civic education. So watu wameanza kuona the reality of things. Then at the same time unajua nao pia mahali tunaelekea tulikuwa tunaonaga in previous years the politicians ndio walikuwa na more knowledge, so the common mwananchi alikuwa na depend na the politicians on anything that they say. But right now pia mwananchi amerevuka na amekuwa na more knowledge na amejua hata jinsi ya kuaccess the information bila hata kuletewa na that is the politician. So saizi watu wamekuwa na more knowledge and that's why now unaona hii statement ikitolewa that is to some people inakuwa surprise, to some that is especially now to the mwananchi. Ukiangalia tu wananchi wanasema ni kweli hivyo ndio mambo ambayo yamekuwa pale. But it's also at the same time also now for the leaders to understand that right now people are more knowledgeable, people now can access a lot of information, so they need also now to come up with other ways if they need now to be re-elected. Okay,
other ways. And then generally, according to what are the main things or the general things that could cost the MPs their seats apart from fake promises? You know, that is something common. Nitawafanyia, nitawajengea. Yeah.
You know, it's due now to the challenges of the system we have. We are having challenges with SHA. We are having challenges when it comes now to the issue of economy. And whenever we see that the leaders that were elected associating themselves with the fallen system of the government, so nyinyi wote mnabeba mkio pale pamoja. And it is also a very challenge ambayo inakuwa pale. Then at the same time kama saizi kumekuwa na the issues of, especially what happened na the demonstration of the Gen Z. So unakuta kana kwamba bado watu kuna zile hisia bado wako nazo, because sometimes actually not even sometimes, generally unakuta that is even during the election period ama siku ya kuvote, watu wengi pia wanakuwa control emotionally. So mtu anaenda pale na vote na that is an emotion zake without now taking due diligence on how now to elect these leaders. So unakuta hiyo ndio challenge ambayo unakuta iko pale, na hiyo ndio masuala ambayo that is wananchi wanakuwa wako nayo pale, because saizi that is anything that is any leader ukiangalia pale akikuja initiative that is ambayo iko associated na the system ambazo ziko na challenge pale, unakuta kuna ile negative reaction anapata kwa wananchi. So those are some of the issues ambazo ziko pale, that's unaona kuna all these challenges na pia hiyo that is a caption ambayo the speaker aliweza kutoa pale.
Alright, yeah. So wananchi pale nje, tafadhali angalia your leader, are they doing enough for you to re-elect them, or they are part of this 56% that are mentioned by that is Wetangula. And now let's head over to something else, something that has been on the spotlight. I don't know, SHA tutaiongele mpaka lini, Mr. Kimotho, because it's an everyday talking about SHA. I think the government, this should be a sign for the government that they really need to do a lot, because to be honest, this week SHA's been on the spotlight. Number one, they alleged that is 11 billion scandal. Hiyo pesa ijulikani kwenye ilienda. Yet, you know, their hospitals hawana vitanda, madawa, payment of clinical officers and everything. SHA is staggering. Actually staggering than it started, that is it started. And pia kumekuwa na issue ya that is delay in capitation and delay in disbursements of funds from SHA to the hospitals. Tumeona kumekuwa na claims that bribes and nepotism when it comes to hiring of SHA officials, but we saw that is the health cabinet secretary, that is Aden Duale, alikataa hayo madai. Yeah, that is matters to do with the bribing and matters to do with bribing when it comes to employment of these people. So when it comes to all the things that are facing the SHA system, what do you think needs to be done, or where is the problem?
They already know where the problem is.
They already know that?
Yeah,
but from these statements, Aden Duale anasema ajui.
They already know where the problem is. Because he's the one in that ministry. Yeah. He can order for that is any report from that is other segment there. At the same time also, wakati alikuwa anauliza maswali pale na the members of parliament, akaulizwa kwa nini pesa ilipotea, akasema no, the money is not lost. So where is the money? So if you know where the money is, why don't you now go and reclaim back the money and the persons ambao wamekuwa involved to be apprehended? Then at the same time, why do it take so long to deal with a certain issue? Because if you know where the problem is, if you know maybe we're having challenging of this system, why can it be recollected? If we if you have been able to identify that there is this and this hospital ambayo imekuwa na haya maswali yote, why can't you list this hospital so that wananchi that is waweze kujua? We also saw that the CSP alisema yakona that is kuna license ambao wamesimamisha, kuna some of the doctors wamesimamisha kufanya kazi na SHA because of certain things ambao walifanya. Why don't you list these doctors so that Kenyans can be able now to know? At the same time, tuliona ya kwamba akisema that is kuna zile report ama that is ambazo waliweza kupatiana that is to the DCI for investigation to take place. So hatujajua respond, hatujajua mahali wamefika. Then at the same time, even up to now, bado tuko na rogue hospitals ambazo zina operate. Na pia tumekuwa tukiona the danger ambazo zimekuwa zikifanya. At the same time pia tumekuwa tukiona that is the activities ambazo zimekuwa zikifanyika in public hospitals ambazo ziko pale. So despite of him trying now to quote the way he wants to quote it, the reality of things is that the system bado iko na challenge, and they need now to pull up their game and now try now to not to convince us, but let now people feel that this system is now working, because now this effect can be felt that is hadi kule the grassroots. Unajua wakati nakuwa felt, mwananchi atakuta MCA, mwananchi atakuta that is the MP, kwa sababu hao ndio wako easily accessible now kule grassroots pale. Na unaona sasa now wakati challenge inaendelea, now wanakuwa associated na the system. That's unaona sasa kuna watu wengine, kuna shoka itawapata kwa masuala ambayo pengine haiko upande wao, ni kwa sababu ya the system ambayo imekuwa iko na challenge. Then you can also see pia statistics ambao walitoa the numbers of Kenyans ambao wameregister na SHA. So meaning that watu wengi wako willing kufanya kazi na that is watu, so many Kenyans they are willing that is to and pia wako na confidence na the SHA. But sasa upande ule mwingine wa government pia nao ndio wanafaa wafanye that is they improve their system that is mwananchi feel that effect, and especially kama saizi economy venye iko saizi, you know it's very unfair kwamba wakati unaenda wewe umelipia SHA, ukifika pale unaambiwa hapana kitu fulani ikusimamii, you need now to go back and you know ukuje ulipe pale na cash, na pia madawa na masuala mengine ambayo yako pale. So something needs to be done. Kama kuna issue they need to bring a lot of expert ili sasa waweze kuimprove the services that are there. Yeah.
And can you say that with all that has been happening, because Kenyans are willing, okay, but with what has been happening within the hospital, you're not receiving the services but you've been paying, can you say it can bring the aspect of public mistrust between the people and now them accepting governmental projects? Can you see that? Definitely,
because wakati tunaona ya kwamba kuna ile that is the commitment ambao Kenyans wako nayo ya wakati government inasema do this, unaona Wakenya wanaenda that is kutimiza hiyo, then whatever they are getting back, hasa hapo ndio kuna shida. Because for example wewe umejua umeshughulika pale, unalipa SHA, unafanya nini, mambo yale mengine yako pale, so wewe ukienda pale hospitalini wewe unaenda ukijua kana kwamba everything is going now to work. Sasa nini unafika pale unaambiwa system ifanyi kazi, huwezi hudumiwa, that is mgonjwa haezi bukiwa, haezi angaliwa kwa sababu system iko pale, iko that is iko na delays, mara iko na nini, all those issues ni issues ambao wanafaa resolve. Na kiweza resolve these issues, at least it again that is a confidence even to the Kenyans themselves. Yeah.
And I think probably the leaders, they're not feeling the pain of this. I think even the president himself anafaa shughulikiwa na SHA kidogo so that they can feel how it feels like, you know. Could that help?
The only thing that can help is the insurance yote, starting from the president, civil servants, MPs, governors na wale wengine wote watumie SHA. Hiyo inaweza tusaidia sana. Because how can you preach of something that you yourself you don't believe in? Because kama kwa ile initiative ya kusema SHA is working, then the insurance should be pale kwa SHA, so that all this money ambayo inaenda kwa private sectors na si ati ni biashara that is tunataka that is yanguke kwa the other private insurances, but at the same time you need that assurance that is the government or the government ama all the civil servants wote kama wangekuwa na SHA. You can imagine kama MCA ako covered na SHA, I'm telling you all our referral hospitals all zingekuwa the best. Kama even the CS mwenyewe Eden Dwale angekuwa covered na SHA, I'm telling you all our hospitals all zingekuwa that is zikifanya kazi. So it is something that also they need now to do, and it's something that they can actually help us by doing that. Na pia kama wako sure that it is working, wacha change kidogo tuone. Yes.
And to deal with corruption and the scandals that we have been experiencing that in the health sector, including the key one that happened that is this week, the 11 billion, how often do you think or how often should that is the public institution public expenditure reports according to you?
We have arms that are assisting us. Tuko na the control of budget, pia tuko na the office of the auditor general, na pia tuko na EACC ambao pia wanatusaidia, na all those arms they need now to come and work together, and especially kama kuna one of the law pengine ndio inafanya ama inaleta hizi loophole when it comes to spending, because kukiwa na loopholes kwa spending, definitely hapo ndio corruption inaingilia pale. So they need now to help us and also now to assist these arms ambazo ziko pale, and that's why they are there, because kuna professionals ambao wako pale. There is nothing wrong kukuleta professionals na aweze kukuguide na kukusaidia on how you should do your spending.
Yeah, so we can say generally when billions are in question, it's not just about numbers. We have the hospitals, we have medicines, and also the public trust in line. And as we wind up, there is a cartoon that I've seen on the Daily Nation and imeandikwa leadership drought. So I really don't know what they mean when they say leadership drought. I don't know if that is what we are having in our country. You think so?
The solution is called 2027 during the election period. Let us now make sure the drought imeisha by bringing leaders ambao wataweza kutusaidia.
Yeah, and you as a Kenyan citizen, do you think according to this cartoon, are we experiencing that is leadership drought in our country? It's a yes or a no quiz. So please get to talk to us on 0799 200 100. We'll be so glad to hear from you. Well, thank you so much for availing yourself of the show.
Yeah.
We are really honored for sharing your great insights with us. Yes. And for viewers viewers, thank you so much for tuning in for this segment that is Beyond the Headlines, whereby we make sure that you stay updated of what is happening, and then we help you understand what is happening in details. Thank you so much. My name is Angela Kabete. Till next time, bye-bye.